Someone nailed it. I just clicked go live.
Let's do it.
Good.
Coming off a pretty good day, right? Yeah.
NBA, yeah. 3-1, and my top bet was Oklahoma City. So 3-1 with one of the wins being your top bet. Hell yeah, great day. MLB went 1-2, but my one win was a plus 150 Guardians hit, so wasn't that bad.
Nice.
Good morning, everybody. On the agenda today, we got 4 NBA games, then we're getting into MLB. That's the plan. Someone did guess Chiefs hat, and I think it was Cervello. I got you on. You're in the Discord, so just hit me up and let me know what item you want from the shop, and I'll send it to you. All right, let's get started. It's Sunday. No one wants to sit here all day. Knicks Sixers. I completely went back on my word here.
I was interested to hear, Kyle. A lot of people from your show, Kyle, popped into my chat today, and shout out to all those people that came over and said they liked the breakdowns, and they said they were just talking about, I wonder what Kyle's gonna be on in this spot, or I think Kyle's leaning this way, and I'm like, okay, can't wait to do the show. We'll see what Kyle's on today.
Yeah, well, I originally said before Game 3 that if the Sixers, I had the Sixers in Game 3 minus the points, if you guys remember, and I said if the Sixers win comfortably, that I would take the Knicks in Game 4 at +7. I was throwing a number out there, but what all Game 3 did when I won that bet was just further confirm my take. I guess you can call it a take, that when Embiid's on the floor, Philadelphia is a much better team. And all 3 games have shown us that. When Embiid's on the floor, Philly's better than the Knicks. The reason the Knicks were able to take Game 1 and 2 is the second unit outplayed the Sixers second unit significantly. And you could see in Game 3 when that doesn't happen to that extreme, what this series really looks like. Now, good news for Knicks fans, me being one of them, Embiid does not look okay, man. He is going through it. So I think the longer this series goes on, the more it favors the Knicks. And I could see myself leaning Knicks just for the simple fading the wear and tear in Game 6. But I think Philly wins and covers again comfortably. Something else I want to point out about Game 3, I wanted to bet the under here, which is crazy. How could you bet the under after Game 3 was 125-114? 239 points scored in Game 3, total down to 209. But I still wanted to bet the under. You want to know why? Because these two teams shot the lights out in that game. I mean, Philadelphia shot 54.7% from the floor, over 48% from 3, and the Knicks 48.9% from the floor, over 43% from 3. Both of these teams had elite shooting nights in Game 3. They're still setting the total at 209. After Game 3, I would imagine everyone's coming in and hitting that over. I kind of wanted to play the under. I didn't bet it. I'll put it on the screen because that's the way I would lean as far as a total. But unfortunately, I just rocked with the Sixers because, I don't want to say I'm confident, but I really think based on what we've seen so far that right here in Game 4, Phillies decide. Now we'll see. What the Knicks need is that the Knicks need Embiid to be limited to like a 28-minute night where maybe he gets banged up and like leaves and comes back, like kind of like we saw in Game 1. And that's very possible because he's not healthy. But if Embiid's going to be playing 41 minutes like he did in Game 3, then Philly should win and cover this number. Thoughts?
Yeah, Kyle, I agree. I agree. Looking into the numbers, we both were strong on Philly, and me like an idiot, I played first quarter, first half, and then I had to end up live betting them to win, just to even kind of break even in Game 3. But you mentioned a couple of the things that I like in this spot too. But I'll start with the side here first, Kyle. So the Knicks are following this trend, just league-wide trend, that since 2012. Home favorites coming off a win in Game 3, looking to tie the series at 2-2. They are 16-3 straight up and 14-5 against the spread. That's 73.3% says that Philly wins and ties the series up here. We also got to mention that Mitchell Robinson. I know you talked about Embiid, but Mitchell Robinson was in a walking boot as well. He's listed as questionable. Not sure if he's going to be able to go. I mean, it's the playoffs. Thibodeau's his coach. Like, I can see them kind of, putting him in a wheelchair and just wheeling him out there. Telling him to take out Embiid's knees or something. But if things kind of continue here, Kyle, I do like I think I would lean a little bit more towards the over here. I know you talked about the under. And I played the under in game 1, and it went over by a point or two, I think. And I think it was a tad bit off. It was because Josh Hart hit all those threes. But this is what I looked at here, Kyle. So over or 76ers team total over specifically. Just the thought process that role players play better at home. The Knicks have actually given up 108 points or more in 5 straight games on the road. That's postseason and to end the regular season. The Knicks finished 10-5 to the over as road dogs of 5 points or less. And they're 6-0 to the over in their last 6 as road dogs. They've allowed 12 more points, Kyle, on the road as a dog than they did at home as a favorite. So there's a 12-point swing in how many points they allow. And I look at the Sixers, they finished 16-6 to the over in 22 home games with Embiid and Maxey both on the floor. They went over their team total 6 straight and 9 of the last 10 as well. So in the 20 wins, Kyle, this is something that I've been paying attention to as well. So like going through and looking at these teams when they are home favorites, do they cover, right? Like if they win, do they cover the spread? So this is what I found. I found that the 20 times that the 76ers were home favorites with Embiid on the floor, they covered 18 of the 20 spreads. They were plus 16 in point differential. Now on the opposite side of that, you look at the Knicks as road dogs. If you expect them to lose, they finished 1-13 in the 14 losses against the spread as road dogs this season. And they were minus 13 in point differential. So if the Knicks lose, it's typically not by a couple points. And if the Philadelphia 76ers win, they typically win by double digits as well. Philly is actually the number 1 rated offensive team in the playoffs so far, 121.3. So Philly team total over 106.5, but I like the full game over. And it'd be Philly minus the 5.5 to tie it up. And I think they covered a short number here. It's actually going down to 5. So maybe you wait until, last possible minute here. But I like Philly and I like the over here, Kyle.
I think I got it at 5. I think I'm in at 5.5. I already bet this. And people in the comments were talking about betting against your favorite team in the playoffs. I get it. Personally, I am like the poster boy for responsible betting. Like I really do bet 1% games. So I am on the Sixers, but the amount I have on it, you can see the slip. I posted in the Discord. I don't have a ton of money on it. I can sit there and root for the Knicks, being like, hey, I have an extra 0.75 units if it does. It's I don't bet amounts where that makes it unable for me to root for my team. So that's me personally. 48%, 38% in favor of the Sixers. So community definitely agrees with us that the lean is Philly. A lot of people betting the Knicks, though. And full disclosure, I still think the Knicks win the series. But I think Game 4 in Philly, Embiid still putting 40, 41 minutes in. I think the games later in the series where you have those hustle plays and Embiid a little more fatigued, a little more banged up. That's where we get in there. So, yeah, that's how I feel. Next up, Clips at Mavs. And this was a very simple decision for me as far as the bet I placed. I didn't pick a side yet. I might be able to get talked into something. To be honest, I kind of wanted to bet the Clippers, but this took me about 8 minutes for me to look at and decided I wanted to bet the over. So let me put the over up for me. So this is another one that I'm already in on. I bet the over. One sec. Okay. So I got it at 208.5. Oh, I guess that's what it's still at. All right. I thought for some reason it moved. But yeah, all right. So I got over 208.5. The total, I had the over in game 3 as well, 212.5. Obviously, that didn't come close. It missed by about 20 points. But the reason for that, did you see the shooting numbers in this game? Oh my God. The shooting numbers in this series in game 3 was, I'm going to pull it up because it's like, all right, ready? Luka Doncic, 7 of 25, 3 of 14 from 3. In fact, why don't I just pull it up on the screen, to be honest? Ready? Okay. covering your face, Chris. All right, so Luka Doncic, 7 of 25, 3 of 14 from 3 right here. Look up here. Paul George, 3 of 11, 1 of 6 from 3. Kawhi Leonard, 7 shots, didn't even attempt the 3. There's just, James Harden had a decent day shooting the ball, but there's just so much regression. These teams shot terribly from the floor. And specifically the three-point shot, 34%, 25%. These are two teams that we know can hit that shot. So I just expect regression to come swinging back in a hard way. And the fact that these two teams struggled shooting the ball in Game 3 is just getting us a better price. If you remember, I took the under in Game 2 of the series at 218. Same series, same matchup. It's now dropped 10 points lower. And I feel like we're going to see a better shooting performance from both teams. So I know this has definitely been an under series so far, but I like the over. I already bet it. I got a 208.5.
Yeah, Cal, I'm aligned with you there as well. We talked about the over on Friday, and like you said, it was just a really, really bad shooting night. Now, granted, Dallas defense has been, top of the arc. After they gave up, 18 for 36 in Game 1 from the three-point line to the Clippers without Kawhi, I mean, they've really locked down. I think the last 2 games, the Clippers are shooting 25% from the three-point line after shooting 50% in Game 1. They were 18 for 36 in Game 1, Cal, 18 for 59 cents. I think that we absolutely see some regression there. I know Norman Powell had a pretty big game. He shot 4 for 6 from the three-point line. But outside of him, they got no contributions from that bench. So you already talked about, guys bouncing back for the Clippers and playing a little bit better. Westbrook, hopefully he stays in the game and isn't out there throwing punches, but he also went 0 for 7 from the field and finished with just 1 point. So you expect him to bounce back and play a little bit better. Amir Coffey, they got to get a little bit more production, I think, not even just from the starters, like you pointed out with Paul George only being 3 for 11, but I think the bench plays a little bit better as well. But I like the Mavs in this spot, Kyle. I like the Mavs. I know the Clippers are, due for some positive regression. I just don't think that they're going to be able to beat. I told you guys I like Dallas on Friday, and I like Dallas again here today. I know that the sharper play or the theory might be that the Clippers bounce back. I'm worried about Kawhi. He's listed as questionable. I think he's truly listed as questionable because Luka is as well. But I think Kawhi and that knee, it's just really bothering him, and that's why he's gone. Had 2 very subpar performances here. So I look at the Mavs. I talked about this on Friday, Kyle. They're 6-0 straight up and against the spread in their last 6 games as a home favorite. They play well in Dallas. They've covered 15 of the 19 spreads when they've won as a home favorite as well. And they're perfect 7-0 straight up and against the spread as a home favorite since the All-Star break. And all of those games were wins by double digits outside of the game versus the Heat when they only won by 6 points. And then you look at the Clippers, 4-11 straight up, just 5-10 against the spread as road dogs this season. 5 straight times they've gone under their team total, but I do think, like you said, we see some regression here today. And the Clippers have only covered 1 of their 11 games when they've lost on the road as a dog this season. They're 1-10 against the spread. And the last 4 since the All-Star break, they lost by 8 points or more. And then this was the cherry on top, Kyle. I looked at specific in the Killer Sports database. I looked at 5th seeds in round 1 coming off a home win, looking to take a 3-1 series lead, are 19-6 straight up and against the spread. 76% says that, Luka just hates this team and he's going to continue to kill him. And I do think the role players continue to play well. PJ Washington also had a really bad game. And Tim Hardaway Jr. could potentially come back. I just think that I like the over. I like the Mavs. So I'll probably go. I didn't play it yet, Cal, but I'm going to play the Mavs, and I'm also going to play their team total over specifically. It's 107.5. I think, like you said, both teams regress offensively. Luka has a much better shooting night, and I like the over, and I like the Mavs.
Do you like the team total over better than the game over?
So it depends. It depends on Kawhi, honestly. Is Kawhi going to be out there? What version of Kawhi are we going to see? He was very limited, Cal.
Right.
I rewatched the game last night, and he only played 25 minutes. You're down, in the series already 2-1. And coach, that tells me, in my opinion, that he's really, really hurt. He only shot the ball 7 times. And a couple of those were dunks that he got at the rim. So that kind of scares me a little bit more. But regardless, I think the Clippers, both defenses regress from the three-point line here, Kyle. These are really good three-point shooting teams. Remember, Rob Vino came on and Skee gave out those numbers where the Clippers were shooting 38% from the three-point line on the road. I think that they make some shots, and I think Dallas makes some as well because I don't trust the Clippers defense from the 3-point line.
Yeah, I agree with most of what you said. Pretty much everything you said. And I wanted to get to the Clippers, but for the reasons you said, I couldn't. There wasn't enough logical reasoning to back a Clippers bet, in my opinion. Even though I think the reason I wanted to back the Clippers is I trust Dallas can choke a game that they should win. But in order for me to place that bet, I need more than that. I need to find like an angle I like too. And it seemed like I was kind of just, as far as circling a Clippers bet, I was kind of just throwing darts in the dark. Like, hey, maybe Kawhi shows up, like where it's like there's no evidence to suggest that. So
yeah,
I felt safer on the over, and I bet this. Yeah. So I'm on the over.
I'm gonna bet the team total over for Dallas specifically as well. And Kyle, real quick, let me point this out. So the Clippers actually finished 0-6 against this. Well, not finished. They are 0-6 against the spread when they're facing a team that they just faced. So we always talk about like coaches making adjustments. They're 0-6 against the spread. And I love Coach Ty Lue. I think he's one of the better coaches in the NBA, but this shows the lack of him being able to make adjustments. 0-6 against the spread, whereas Dallas is 6-1 straight up and against the spread when they're facing the team that they just faced. So whenever these back-to-back series happen, it's the same thing with the Suns. Frank Vogel is like 2-6 straight up when they're facing the same team that they just played as well. So that all of that kind of pushed me towards Dallas here in this spot.
Yeah. I mean, I hear you. So the poll's definitely on Dallas, 56%, 20%. Viewers are definitely, all you guys watching are betting the Mavs. And I think another thing that I didn't mention that was another reason that I wanted to get to the Clippers was this series from 2 years ago is still in my head, where they just went back and forth and went to 7 games. Now these are 2 different teams. Luka Doncic has developed a lot. Kawhi Leonard's not healthy. It's not the same situation at all.
James Harden is old and wasn't part of that.
And wasn't even on the team.
And never wins in the playoffs.
Is right. So now we come to, this has got to be the biggest, this game right here. Bucks Pacers, game 4. This is probably the most difficult. I have nothing. I didn't bet it. I don't even have a lean. If it was maybe 7 or less, I would bet Indiana. At 10, what the hell are they doing to us here? This number's begging me to bet Milwaukee. I hate it. I hate everything about this game. I didn't want to touch the total, even though I think it goes under. I was hoping maybe you could talk me into something. This is ridiculous.
So Kyle, like you said, so Damian Lillard, of course, is listed as doubtful. He's probably not going to play in this game, and that, of course, that's what pushed this one. It opened at 7.5, and it was at 9. It was at 9.5 when I woke up this morning. Money's still coming in on the Pacers in the spot. Pushed it all the way up to 10, like you said. I look at this game, Kyle, and I think that there's absolutely no way that. And I was on the Pacers in game 3. It hurt like that. That was one of the reasons I went to sleep early, because they had a 17-point lead in the first quarter, and then they just couldn't make a shot. They ended up shooting 26% from the 26.5% from the 3-point line. 1 for 12 was Tyrese Halliburton. Nesmith went 1 for 7. Siakam went 0 for 3, and they still got to 111 points, Cal, through the first 4 quarters, even without the overtime. I don't trust the Bucks defensively on the road without Giannis. In 5 road games now, they gave up 135 to the Cavs. They gave up 122 to the Celtics, 125 to OKC, 113 to Orlando, and now 121 to the Indiana Pacers. All 5 of their opponents have gone over their team total, Cal. I can't lay the points with the Pacers in back-to-back spots, but to me, this kind of feels like OKC in New Orleans, Cal. Remember game 1 where I confidently took OKC,
me too,
minus the 7, and then you guys went back to them and I didn't. Right? I was like, I can't think the Pelicans can play a little defense. No, I think we see major regression from the Pacers being able to shoot the ball. 26.5%, Kyle. I think they win this game handily. I didn't play the spread, but I do like their team total over, because I'm scared of laying this big of a number with the Pacers. But I do think it's probably going to be a blowout, especially with a limited Damian Lillard. I mean, how is this game going to be kept competitive if you just have Chris Middleton and Bobby Portis here, right? Yeah. The other thing I think you got to mention here, Cal, is bench points, right? So you got the Milwaukee Bucks, which finished as the 6th worst bench scoring team in the NBA versus the best bench scoring team, and you got Milwaukee's 2 best players out. And coming off an overtime game. The Pacers are a much younger team than the Bucks. So I think that going to overtime in game 3 on Friday was the Bucks game to win. Now without Giannis, without Damian Lillard, even if he does play with the Achilles injury, I think he's going to be compromised. I think the Pacers run away with this one, but I'll take the team total over 112.5. Just thinking that we see major regression from the 3-point shooting specifically, because the Bucks aren't great at defending the 3-point line.
Here's the thing, though. About what you just said, the Bucks aren't great at defending the 3-point line. If Lillard doesn't play and Pat Bev gets those minutes, then all of a sudden their perimeter defense gets a boost. We were speaking as if he was most likely not playing. I didn't see him
officially get ruled out. Did he officially get ruled out?
Prop Beaver's talking in our ears, by the way, if you're wondering who we're talking to.
Oh, so now he is out. Okay, now I see. When I did my show early this morning, he wasn't out, which is why the line moved from 9.5 to 10. That makes perfect sense. Appreciate you, Prop Beaver.
This is going to be an ugly pick, and I didn't bet. This is the only game I don't have a bet on, but I think the way to go here would be this. I know that's disgusting, but if you take out Lillard, where are the points going to come from the Bucks? Seriously, who's scoring on that team? I know we don't trust the Pacers defense, but you're going to have Middleton take 40 shots again? There's no offense. Without Giannis, I didn't trust that offense. Without Lillard, who the hell is on that offense to score? And then on the other side, you take out Lillard, yes, you lose a huge offensive piece, but you know what? He's not a great defender. The Bucks defense just got better by not having Lillard out there because Pat Beverly's going to play a shitload of minutes. So I actually think it's going to be a low-scoring game. I guess I would probably lean towards Milwaukee plus the points because just, hey, a low-scoring game and I'm getting 10. But no way I do that. I do think the under has some value, though. In fact, I'm going to write this down. Because I'm kind of talking myself into an under here.
Cal, question for you. You trust the Pacers to limit the Bucks to less than 104 points without Lillard and Giannis being out there?
Yes.
Okay.
I mean, the Bucks team total under has been like a move for me. I bet it once, had it in a same game parlay once. It should have hit all 3 times. The only reason it missed is because Chris Middleton hit a 30-foot miracle shot at the buzzer. If that doesn't happen, the Bucks have gone under their team total 3 times in this series. So without Lillard now, who's averaging what, like 30 points a game in this series? Yeah, I don't think the Bucks will hit triple digits here. But I also think this Bucks team is experienced, and with Beverly out there, I actually think the Bucks defense can be okay. So so I think the under. Yeah, I wrote it down. I actually really might bet this. I'm kind of talking myself into it. Okay. And our poll likes the Pacers, but actually there's a lot of you out there betting the Bucks here. 45%, 32% Indiana. So most of the viewers are betting the Pacers, but a lot of people out there betting Milwaukee. One more game to go. Well, here we are. And the question is, Kyle, are you going to go down with the ship? You're 0-3 betting the Suns.
You all right?
Yep. Am I going to go down with the ship here? And what kind of captain would I be if I didn't, honestly? I bet the Suns on the – I took the two – I got 2 last night, and I took the money line, 2 separate bets. I'm doing it. I was pissed at myself. If you guys watched yesterday, I said I like Lakers money line. I didn't bet it. I mean, I hit my over. It's fine. I won the bet. But I said I was going to consider putting a Lakers money line bet down as well. Didn't do it. Regretted it immediately. First quarter, I was like, I suck. First quarter, I regretted it. Here we are in the same spot. They say an NBA playoff series doesn't start until a road team wins the game. Well, a road team just won. Minnesota beat the Suns in Phoenix. Now Minnesota has started to look forward. When I say look forward, I mean look ahead. Everyone's already talking on Twitter. Everyone's already talking about Minnesota-Denver. And, in turn, Minnesota's already thinking about Minnesota-Denver. Suns do not want to go out like that and get swept. There's a lot of negativity surrounding Durant and Booker. All of a sudden, Booker can't show up in the playoffs is a narrative, and it's like getting hard to defend him a little bit because I don't mind Booker. I think he's nice. Suns steal this one. This is a Sun spot, just this similar to the Lakers. Yeah, Game 5 back in Minnesota, it's going to be really hard for me to sit here and make a case for the Suns. But in Game 4, against a Minnesota team that has already – I'm not saying Minnesota's going to come out lackadaisical or anything, but the conversation is now Minnesota versus Denver. That's not the conversation in the head of the Phoenix Suns. Phoenix Suns says, we can't go out like this. It's very similar to the Lakers last night. Suns take this one. We finally see a good shooting night.
You know what, Cal? I didn't bet this one, but I will, and I'll go opposite of you. I'll go ahead and lay the points with Timberwolves to get them out the way here. And this just because it's a super bad matchup, Cal. I know when we did our brackets, you had Phoenix going far. I actually took Phoenix to win this series as well, but I'm willing to jump off that ship, Cal. I'm not going down. You'll be the captain of the Phoenix Suns ship. I'm not going down with you here. When it comes down to it, they're bad. They're jump shot shooting team, Cal. And they're playing against a team that can really guard one-on-one. They're averaging 99 points on 45% shooting and making 9 threes on 36% shooting in this series. We're talking about a super team that has paid these guys $5 billion. And Matt Ishbia has no picks, nothing coming up at all for this team. And they just ran into an absolute buzzsaw. A team that out-rebounded them 50-28 and a team that out-rebounded them 15-5 on the offensive glass in what was supposed to be the most desperate spot of the season. And we talked about this yesterday. It did not bode well, but home dogs now 0-3 are now 19-41 straight up. So if you just fade them, they're returning. You're winning 69% of your bets there. And the Timberwolves, like we talked about, Kyle, 6-0 straight up, 5-1 against the spread when they're playing the team that they just recently played in a back-to-back series. Whereas the Phoenix Suns, 2-6 straight up, 1-7 against the spread in that same scenario. I don't like Kevin Durant. Like, I love Kevin Durant as a player. I don't like the comments. He don't got that dog in him. And that's what he's missing. And I think the Timberwolves take him out tonight. I hate the comments post-game. KD asked who's the leader of the team. He says the coach is. Kevin Durant, you've been playing basketball for 16 years. You've been universally recognized as one of the top 10, 15 players in NBA history, and you're going to say that the coach is the leader of the team. You're the leader of the team, Kevin Durant. I hate that. And the Phoenix Suns, they do crawl into their little, hole when they're in elimination spots as well, Kyle. They're now 0-3 straight up and against the spread in elimination games over the last 3 years. Wow. They got smoked by Denver, 125-120
Dallas
at home.
Dallas the year before that.
Yep, that was the year before that. Yeah, they. If you're a Phoenix Suns fan, you're feeling really bad right now. They need a true point guard. Until they get one, Kyle, I'm not betting on them. So I did play the over in the game as well. I think if Phoenix has any chance, it'll be because they can score the basketball. Last game, they were able to score the basketball. They just couldn't stop the Timberwolves. They couldn't stop the Timberwolves from scoring.
Let me stop you there though, because you say you couldn't stop the Timberwolves, and everyone's making this bet about the Suns, which I understand. How about? Dude, Minnesota's so due for an off shooting night. This wasn't even a good offense during the regular season, and they are draining shots. I'm not saying they're not good, not props to them, but like, there's no way Minnesota's going to shoot 50% from the floor. They were like what? Were they even a top 15 offense in the regular season? They're playing. We've seen the Minnesota Timberwolves' best fastball offensively every game this series, and I think a lot of people have now blown Minnesota up into this elite team, which, hey, maybe they are, but I can tell you that Minnesota's offense did not look like this throughout the regular season. They were not hitting shots like this. In fact, they were one of the worst three-point shooting teams in the NBA. They're burying threes out there. So, hey, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm going down with the ship, but Phoenix is so due for a good shooting night, and Minnesota's so due for a bad shooting night. I think the Suns could win comfortably. So I'm on Phoenix. I'll go head-to-head with you.
Yeah, we got to go head to head here, Kyle, because I think a lot of it is the points off turnovers that the Timberwolves keep getting. So you talk about their field goal percentage being so high. The Suns have reverted back to that team that just turns the ball over. They lost 21-11, and the points off turnovers is like that boosts your field goal percentage a lot if you're getting layups at the rim. Right. So that'll be the counter to that. But yeah, I'll go Timberwolves -1.5 here head to head. Okay. And I did take the over, though. I took the over, too.
I like the over as well. There you go. Something we agree on. I do like the over as well. So I'll put the over up in between us because we both like it. All right. So let's do a quick poll. of let's see what everyone's favorite side is. So they like the Timberwolves at -1.5. They like the Sixers at -5.5. They like the Pacers at -10. Which game am I missing? Oh, they like the Mavs. Mavericks are -5.5. Community, what's your favorite side? Community, the community bets after going 2-0, went 0-2. So, community, you guys need a bounce back. It's getting embarrassing, community. Really? You guys are going to pick Minnesota as your favorite bet? Oh, man. Your funeral. Your funeral. Your funeral, community. Just don't say I didn't tell you so, because I did. Wow. All right, the community has spoken. They hate the Suns.
You should too, Kyle. Much money as they lost you.
Yeah, they did lose me a lot.
Me too. Yeah, they would. I know you told me they were your least profitable team.
They were my least profitable team before the playoffs. Now it's like they're by far the least profitable team. So now the thing is, I didn't do things for the total. So Knicks Sixers, they definitely would like the over.
Over.
Because the game went way over last time. In the second game, Clippers, Mavs. We both like the over, so I'm assuming that they would be with us. I didn't hear people yelling under in the comments. Milwaukee.
I feel like the totals have dropped a little bit too low, Kyle. Like all these totals have dropped from game 3 to game 4, except the Philly one. I think went up just a tad bit.
I actually think they like all 4 overs.
I do too.
Yeah, they do, because I like the under in the third game, the Pacers-Bucks, but I felt like, judging from the comments, that I was kind of alone on that, because I saw people typing over in, and you like the Pacers team total over, so I'm pretty sure that's. So what's your favorite over? Give them a second to vote. I can't believe the community just took Minnesota as their top bet when the Suns are going to win by 18. Final
your
score.
Your community turned into my community, Kyle. It's a ChrisBeCappinn community on the show, because they watch my show before they watch yours now.
Yeah, you get in there first. Final score, 121-101 Suns.
The overcash is I'll go 1-1. I'll be okay with
that. This is, by the way, Clippers Mavericks is their favorite. So the community's favorite side is T-Wolves -1.5. Community's favorite total is Clippers Dallas over 208.5, which also is an over that I'm personally on. So I'm rocking with that over. I'm not with you guys on that T-Wolves bet, but I'm with you on the over. All right. Thanks, guys, for watching. Make sure you give Chris a follow on Twitter and check out his show. He does early mornings. So if you're an early riser, he's up talking about lines. His show was like 3.5 hours ago. So he's up early. Make sure you give him some support. We appreciate him taking the time to come on. And now, why don't we talk some baseball? All right. I got to figure out a way to quickly flip to baseball where I could have Toast and Prop Beaver sitting there waiting. I don't really know how to do that yet. Like, what kind of sound are you picturing? Are you volunteering to produce said sound? Hold on. So for those of you that couldn't hear Prop Beaver, he's saying we should have a chime when we flip the baseball, like an ESPN, like da-da-da, or whatever you just did.
Yeah.
So if any of you, any auto engineers in the audience that can produce a sound where we switch games or switch sports, my email's open.
Hit us up.
Toast, where's the hell's Toast?
He's here.
No, I see him.
Yeah.
Oh, I had him muted because he was literally having a phone call while we were.
Yeah, I was muted on the phone call.
No, you weren't. We heard you. That's why I went and muted you, because Chris was talking.
I also heard you.
Chris was talking, and you were like having a phone call in our ears.
Oh. I swear to God, I had mute on my thing.
I have to piss real quick before we get started. And it's Sunday, so we're going to rip through these games because there's a lot of passes on Sundays. But be right back.
I'm not passing on a single game. I'm just kidding.
Dude, I was gonna say what? Yeah. I mean, I was actually gonna say like this dick really left us in a bad spot here. I got to take a piss. This game sucks. I got nothing to say for this game.
Yeah, I've got 6 bets right now. Might add something. As far as this Cleveland game goes, man, I don't really know. I guess Atlanta or pass, but it's really hard to back a guy like Bryce Elder as well. Again, it's not that so it'd be Atlanta or pass just because of how they lost yesterday and the fact that I don't really trust Cleveland as much against right-handed pitching as they are against left-handed pitching. They have really good records either way, but keep in mind they are 6-1 against left-handed pitching. So, and the splits are, I mean, as much as you can go into other things, the splits are pretty daunting. I mean, 275 average against lefties, 238 against righties, 785 OPS against lefties, 687 OPS against righties. So it's not a super huge drop off, but it's definitely mentionable. So I mean, yeah, I have a hard time believing the Braves don't get to lively here. But at the same time, like the Braves are 8-2, but the Braves are playing some pretty bad teams like Texas, Miami, Houston, and yes, I don't think Texas is a very good team, but so it's not like they're beating really good teams, but they are winning games. So yeah, it'd be Braves minus 1.5 pass for me. But there's just it's just really, really hard for me to back Bryce Elder right here. So yeah, it's going to be a pass.
I think if you bet the Guardians yesterday, you're happy with your winnings. You feel
100%.
Blessed with what happened, how it went down, and you move on from this series on to the next one.
So you're saying
That's
you wouldn't bet Braves minus 1.5?
Are you talking to me or Toast?
Well, Toast said Braves minus 1.5 for pass. So I was saying, based on what you said, are you saying you would also lean Braves minus 1.5? Were you talking about you personally moving on to the next series, or that's what the Guardians are going to do?
No, I think that we all in consensus yesterday said the Guardians.
Yeah.
So with the assumption that our viewers also bet the Guardians, we won yesterday. The series kind of stinks. Bryce Elder's not the greatest, but Ben Lively flat out sucks.
So move on to
the next one.
Yeah, you're saying that's what we should do. I thought you were implying that's what the Guardians are doing. So you were talking about a Braves.
No, I don't think the Guardians should pack it up. I think they should try to win the baseball.
I think they should try to win the game.
Yeah.
All right, so probably your pass. I'm going to put up Braves minus 1.5 because that's the only one.
Sorry, I forgot the major thing with Cleveland. Bullpen taxed. Clase, Gaddis, Barlow, Sandin all worked 2 of the last 3 days. Clase, Gandon, Barlow have worked 3 of the last 5 as well.
Yeah, I think I just put Braves minus 1.5 on the watch list.
Uh-oh. Church.
Let me get some nicotine in me real quick. All right, next game. 58% of the viewers like the Braves, 23% Cleveland. Next game, Oakland, Baltimore. Man, and what the Orioles did, I'm still not over it. 2 nights ago. They ruined everything with that loss.
It's called a snipe job.
You didn't even bet it.
No, I didn't bet it, but I should have. I had a vision. I just didn't follow through on it.
You had a vision. Good Lord. All right, what's your vision telling you here?
My vision doesn't feel great about it because the total was at 8 last night and it moved up to 8.5. But the vision still stands on the fact that the first 5 under 4.5 would be the move here, in my personal opinion. The Orioles offense, little to zero history against Blackburn. The dudes looked phenomenal thus far. He looked untouchable the first 3 starts, looked a little more vulnerable the last 2 starts, but the XFIP pretty much says in both scenarios that he's been a great pitcher this season. We can expect more of that from him. And what I think is the great news for Blackburn is that he has dominated lefties thus far. 192 WOBA, 20K to BB percentage, 0.67 whip, 294 XFIP. I mean, we have an Orioles lineup that's been annihilating lefties lately, but against righties, the last 5 to face him, 3.25 ERA, 108 whip. I mean, Pablo Lopez is good, I guess. Lugo's good, but like Marsh, Canning, Stripling, I feel like Blackburn's better than those guys right now, and he could hold them in check, especially with the Orioles starting 7 lefties on a daily basis. So I think he's going to pitch well. And then on the other side, we got Albert Suarez. Jesus. We don't have much of a sample with Albert, but I gotta say he pitched well. He pitched well against the Angels.
And he's pitching against Oakland.
Yeah, and he's pitching against Oakland, the team that the last 11 righties to face him have a 2.45 ERA and a 0.99 WHIP. Since April 9th, the A's threw the first 5 against righties, 29th in WRC plus, 30th in OBP. On top of that, he's been better against lefties. I mean, this game's kind of gross. That's what I would do here.
Yeah, I mean, that sounds good to me. I'll put that pick up because if I was to place a bet on this game, I'd just be tailing him. To be honest, Prop Beaver, I thought this was an Oakland first 5 money line spot for you. This seems like the type of spot you would take, Oakland first 5 money line.
I just need to see some life from the bats through the first 5. Like, even if you're looking at when Marcus Stroman gave up, Marcus Stroman actually gave up his runs through the first 5. But if you're looking at Clark Schmidt, and there's another pitcher recently that allowed 2 or 3 runs to them, that came in the 6th inning. So they're not doing really anything through the first 5 against righties. I mean, absolutely nothing. We're talking about a run or 2. I think Blackburn could deal, but we have to limit them to a run or 2. I don't know.
What do you think about this bet here? Oakland first 5 plus a half run at plus 100.
I don't hate that.
I don't think I'm going to bet it, so I don't want to waste any more time on it. Toast?
Oakland first 5 money line. You can keep
shit.
that half a run. You can keep that half a run for the pansies out there. But yeah, we're getting Blackburn off of 2 really bad starts against the Yankees and Cardinals. The Cardinals are actually heating up if everybody hasn't figured that out yet. And the Yankees are rolling right now. And then you got Suarez on the other side that has looked fantastic in back-to-back starts against Minnesota, LA. I'm not trying to make a case that Oakland is some fantastic team, but if you're going to give me a huge plus price, and we know that Baltimore has been struggling against right-handed pitching, yeah, I'll take my chances.
I'm surprised they're letting you have the plus 150 with Blackburn.
I mean, Oakland's pretty bad, and he's been pretty bad.
I mean, Oakland's...
They're allergic to scoring 2 runs in the first 5 innings. I think it's a fair price. Yeah.
If Beaver's under is correct, that's what kind of makes me a little bit more easier going with this one, because that way, if we're expecting low runs, then I'll take my chances. If I lose 2-1, I lose 2-1.
The one thing I don't like, though, is that when I gave Andy that freaking graphic, it was at minus 115. He put it at plus 100. So is that line even moving up further? That's weird. I don't know why that line's moving up. Anyways, back to him.
We're on LA at Toronto here. Toast had a nice hit in this one. I really thought it was a sharp spot to play Toronto. Clearly, I was mistaken.
No, I don't. Hold on. I don't think that I'm not. I could care less about all that stuff, but I truly don't think it was that wrong of a side. LA had 4 runs. I mean, it wasn't as bad as it looked. I mean, when you said that in the Discord, I was dead serious when I say this game's not over, because then they scored that run. A base hit there makes it 4-2. Things change a little bit. I'm just saying.
The Toronto bats are an anomaly. Trying to figure out when they're going to show up is. Go ahead. Sorry. Well, I mean,
I was just going to say, to that point of the Toronto bats, and this isn't me because I'm on the Dodgers all the time. Keep in mind, the 2 games against the Dodgers, they've scored 2 runs. They had 4 games against the Royals where they essentially scored 5 runs the first game. They didn't do diddly poo the next 3. And then the Padres games, I know they won 2 out of 3, but both of those games, the games that they scored 5 runs, the pitching was terrible and the defense was even terrible behind that. I think they had 4 or 5 runs in those 2 games just because of the Padres' shitty Little League defense. So I don't even know if there's this idea that the Toronto bats were back at one point. I don't even know if I believe that, because if you look at their last 10 games, they're not scoring runs at all. So I just wanted to say that.
But still, okay, so based on what you said, that makes me think this price is super square. But this morning at 7 a.m., Toronto with minus 127 consensus. Now it's a pick'em. So no question, the line is moving towards the Dodgers, which makes me think, hey, maybe this is not as square as it's Gausman against Michael Grove.
Michael Grove stinks, to put it nicely. He stinks.
But, if we are truly thinking that one of these lineups is great and one of these lineups is bottom 5, like Toronto might be against righties, how do we not just take the Dodgers here?
Beaver can talk because he has a really cool write-up. I have the same play as him. Dodgers team total over 3.5.
Oh, shit. Okay.
Yeah, team total over 3.5.
That was ridiculous.
That number's insane. If it's a trap, so be it. If Gausman wants to come out and bounce back, so be it. Whatever. I know Sundays are weird. I know Will Smith's out for this one. I know Gasman has to bounce back eventually. But this is the Dodgers, and we're catching this number at 3.5. I mean, what has Gasman done thus far to justify a 3.5 line against the Dodgers? 5.57 ERA, 1.3 home run per 9. He's got a whip of 1.57, and even his barrel rate is 11%, one of the highest rates in the league. He's putting more balls in play. He's allowing more guys on base, and he's allowing much harder contact than years past. And that's a nightmare heading into this matchup. Dodgers are first in WRC+, second in ISO, and second in OBP against righties. The last 4 righties to face them have really caught the wrath of them. They've combined for a 13.2 ERA, 2.81 whip through just 16 combined innings. The Dodgers cashed the line all 4 times, and they averaged 9.2 runs per game in those games. They've now scored 4+ runs when an opposing righty starts in 15 of 18 opportunities, averaging 6.2 runs per game. Before facing a Royals offense that is slumping hard right now, let me remind you, forget that fluky 7-run inning versus Detroit in the 9th inning. They have been bad lately. Gasman had yet to make it past 5 innings. So even if they don't put up a big number on Gasman early, they're good enough at working counts to knock him out of the game sooner than the Jays want. And behind him is a bullpen that's even been mediocre with some of their key guys back. Last 2 weeks, they're 21st in ERA, 17th in xFIP. Romano and Garcia, 2 of their best 3 arms, went last night for some strange reason because John Schneider's a moron. So if the Jays do dare to roll them out back-to-back days, Dodgers already saw them. They're fresh. Fading Gasman at home has been a profitable strategy for me in his 10 years as a Blue Jay. Going right back to it here. If I get to back the Dodgers and I don't have to back the nightmare that is Michael Grove, that's a win-win for me.
Someone asked if you guys would take the team total over 4.5 at +116.
Yeah, because when I was looking, it seemed that 5 was the key number. I did 0.75 units for 3.5, so I'd probably do a half unit for 4.5
I'm just going to play the Dodgers on the money line. But but a lot of the same. No, it's fine. I didn't even look at the game, but for a lot of the same for these reasons though, because the Dodgers should score runs and they're playing the Toronto Blue Jays. I don't care if they throw a AAA arm out there. I mean, I don't trust the Toronto Blue Jays bats. So.
Also,
to be fair, Michael Grove is a AAA arm. To be honest, so.
And Toronto's averaging 2.4 runs the last 2 seasons with Gausman on the mound, compared to 4.4 overall. So,
that's insane. Why do they hate this dude?
They do hate him. It's so weird. And then the only thing I can really add, the only thing that I will mention about like the Dodgers bullpen, they're not going to have Evan Phillips, who's their closer. He went back to back, but they'll still have Hudson, Kelly, Brazier, Vesia, all those guys. And I'm pretty sure Ryan Yarbrough is going to start. Did I see that? Yeah, he's going to be the primary pitcher, actually. So I think that's actually another solid thing.
I wouldn't like that, though, because the Jays have been hitting lefties.
Okay, well, he's your starter. So just so you guys know.
That's fine. It's the Jays, bro.
Anyway, regardless, my point, I don't think he's going to stay in the game very long anyway. But my point is that for the Dodgers that as Beaver mentioned, they saw Garcia and Romano yesterday. They also saw Swanson and Richards, Pearson, Miza, Little all the day before that. So they've literally seen every single arm in that Jays bullpen at least once in the last 2 days.
Love it.
So
yeah, I'll probably be betting the Dodgers. It won't be a huge bet, though. 75% of the viewers that took the Dodgers as opposed to just 12% taking Toronto. So everyone's on the Dodgers there. Heavy public side. Don't care. That's where I'm at.
The Dodgers are always public. It don't matter.
Yeah, I guess that's true. All right.
If I didn't bet the Dodgers when they were public, I'd never get to bet the Dodgers.
Right, you never get to bet them. All right, so
I'm really curious to see what Beaver has to say about this game.
All right, prop Beaver.
I'm very curious to see what you have to say now.
Oh, because God, okay, fine.
Yeah.
What do you mean? You back the Tigers because Scooble's at home and the Royals don't hit lefties on the road. The Royals don't
minus
hit
160.
No, you don't.
You're going to back the Tigers at minus 160. How you
flip
figure
it
that
around.
out?
Royals team total under.
Nope. You take the Royals money line here at the plus 135 price.
Okay.
Even though it's scary, even though it's gross, you take the plus 135. Because if there's one team that Scooble has always struggled against in his career, it's the Kansas City
It is so bad,
Royals.
dude.
11 appearances, 5.09 ERA, has allowed 2 home runs per 9. His last 4 starts against the Royals have been especially brutal. 0-3, 7.71 ERA, 1.45 whip. Now, it is worth noting that Skubal has fared better against the Royals at home, but still, what is the end result? 0-3 in those games. He has not been winning against this Royals team at home. I know that the Royals just got shut down by Irvin and Kikuchi in back-to-back starts at KC, where their offense has been much more explosive. But is there some early reverse splits happening here? Because against righties on the road, they've been awful thus far, but awesome against them at home. But if you look at the lefties they faced on the road thus far, they're 8th in WRC+, they're 6th in OBP, they're smacking them up, but at home, they're struggling against them. You tend to see these weird things in baseball where these splits will reverse for a little bit, and then they go back to proper form. I'm just saying, maybe this is going to be a season where the Royals are all of a sudden hitting lefties on the road, and while Skubal has looked good thus far, let's not forget, he allowed 4 runs to the A's, and he allowed 4 runs to the Rangers, so I think the Royals can put up runs on him. On the other side, we got Waka. He's been solid thus far. Am I a bit concerned that his 2 starts against the Sox were dominant, and then his 3 other starts, he had a 5.87 ERA and a 1.76 whip? Absolutely. But good news for Waka is that the Detroit Lions suck. Detroit Tigers suck. They are now 23rd in WRC+, 25th in ISO, 25th in OBP on the year. Dropped at the day games. They're 27th in WRC+. We have MacArthur here. We have Schreiber, both available to wrap up the final 2 innings. We're rolling with the Royals here.
Let me ask you something.
It's scary, but we're rolling with KC.
If that's the way you feel, why wouldn't you take the Royals team total over at 2.5? Because that's where it's at. You can get the over 2.5 or the over 3.
What's the price?
You can get over 3 at -125.
I feel like I'd rather just take the +130 at that point.
Yeah.
I
don't hate that either.
I mean, you could take the team total over 3.5 at +120. The point I was making is you love to look at this shit. Books have the Royals team total at 3.
No, that's a pretty good point. I do agree with you there. I don't know if I want to double up on this though. I'm already going a bit risky here, so I think and it's a Sunday, so probably only do a half unit on the KC money line. But yeah,
I'm putting the Tigers up. I'm not betting it or anything at this price, but I disagree with these guys. You're on the Royals too, Toast?
Yes, I would be on the Royals as well. First off, I love Michael Wacha. I think that he's one of the more underrated pitchers in this league so far. Going back to 2022, he's been honestly fantastic. What is he? 26-6 or 26-7 the last 3 years. So it's essentially win day when Michael Wacha goes out there. And I understand that the ERA and stuff doesn't look great against the White Sox, but if you just look at the game logs, it's not that bad. He gave up 8 hits to Toronto, but he only gave up 2 runs. He went 6 innings against the Mets. He got hit up. That is what it is. But he went and gave three runs against Baltimore. My point is that I think those teams are much better than than Detroit. And Skubal, yeah, he's been good. He's been off and on at times this year, but like Beaver said, he's gave up 4 runs to Oakland and Texas. It's we never know what you're going to get with Skubal. And again, like Beaver said, the last couple of times he's faced the Kansas City, he had a really good start against them last year, but the 4 previous ones before that, 4 innings, 7 runs, 6 innings, 4 runs, 4 2/3, 5 runs. So it's just been really, really bad for them. This Royals team, I think, is a little bit better than this Tigers team. So if I'm going to get them at a huge plus price because everybody's on Tyreek Skubal, I'm going to take it.
Someone said Toast looks like he has no heat in his home. It's because it's 7 in the morning.
7 a.m., bro.
Toast looks like he has no heat in his home.
What are the identifiers to that?
He's wearing
I'm wearing a hoodie.
Yeah.
Oh. So am I.
No, but he has the hood up, maybe. I don't know. Let's go to the next game.
Strange comment.
I'm in Alaska now, baby. We have all sunlight right now. It's beautiful.
You sleep in the sun?
I haven't seen darkness in days. It's beautiful.
All right, Nats at the Marlins here in Miami. Do you gentlemen have anything you'd like to talk about here? Oh, Toast raised his hand.
I'll be on the Nats money line.
You liked them yesterday and you didn't play it. It hit too.
Did I?
Yeah, you said Nats money line or pass yesterday, and they won.
Oh yeah, it is the Marlins, so that makes sense. But yeah, so first and foremost, Marlins can't hit lefties to save their life. I understand that Patrick Corbett isn't the guy that you really want to back as a lefty on the mound, but at the same time, I know that he got hit up by the Dodgers the first time, but he looked pretty damn good. His last start against the Dodgers at home, where he went 5 innings, gave up 3 runs and no hits. So, and his road starts this year on the road at Cincinnati, not an easy place to pitch. On the road at San Francisco, I can't. That's just plain bad. And then on the road at LA Dodgers. So, I mean, it's just one of those things where I don't even think Patrick Corbin is pitching as bad as his numbers show. He's not good in any way, but I think that Ryan Weathers is pitching over his head right now. It's going to come back down to earth. We saw him strike out 10 guys against the San Francisco Giants, comes back, only strikes out 1, walks 3 against the Braves. Obviously, those offenses are completely different, but at the same time, I think that this Nats lineup, especially with Winker starting to get going, when you have Winker and CJ Abrams at the top of the lineup, like if you're going to give me plus money with this team with the bullpen that's ready to go, I'm going to take it. So yeah, I'm on Nationals plus 120.
Kind of hard to argue with that, but Proppy, aren't we starting to like Weathers?
I definitely am starting to like Weathers, but yeah, I would have to agree with Toast here. I mean, Patrick Corbin is pretty horrendous against the entire division. If there's anybody who hasn't been complete dog shit against, it's been the Miami Marlins. Even when I was looking at the Miami Marlins, like improved numbers against lefties lately, they're still not very good. I mean, this team just kind of stinks. So yeah, I mean, it's either Nats or pass. I tried to get cute with it yesterday and bet the Nats because they were facing a righty, and what happened there? My lord, the Marlins effect.
I'm actually gonna fade you guys on this.
Sweet.
I like Patrick Corbin's my guy. This is not a Corbin spot. When people are starting to believe in Pat, coming off that great start against the Dodgers, and now look, we're polling at 75% Nats. This is not a Pat spot. I know this man. This is not a Pat spot.
You know what else is not a spot? You laying minus 140 with the Miami Marlins. That's not a good spot either.
Okay. Well, how about you manage your tickets and I'll manage mine?
Oh, if the Miami Marlins make
I'm just trying to help a friend out, bro. Hold on. I'm trying to help a friend out.
Hold on.
If I did the same thing, you'd be on my ass.
I have not been betting the Marlins this year. So,
I don't
so
care.
the idea that
Either
this is a Marlins spot. This is not a Pat Corbin spot.
I don't care if you've never bet the Marlins in your life. If you put up Marlins minus 143 but under your face, we have a problem.
All right. Well, do you have a problem with winning? Marlins win today, and I'm betting it. I put it on the watch list.
I hope so.
That's how you know it's real.
Full unit. So
the watch list. Yeah.
Oh yeah, the watch list. Right.
Yeah, the maybe list.
No, it's the watch list.
Yeah, sure.
Even though someone suggested playlist, and that's like clearly so much better.
That was me.
No, I think it was someone in the comments.
It was Beaver.
I don't think so. All right, Cardinals, Mets in Citi Field.
Such a fucking.
Yeah, so I'm done with the Mets.
Yeah, dude, it's not going well right now, is it?
Things, Toast hasn't seen darkness in days. I haven't seen the light in days as a Mets fan.
Yeah.
So I can tell you, I'm not putting a Mets logo underneath my face here. I got nothing for the.
I got nothing.
I feel the same way. It's Mets or pass for me. Yeah. I'm not betting it, but I would bet the Mets here if there was a gun to my head. Weirdly, Lance Lynn has really good numbers against the Mets, and then I realized that's all from 2017 to 2014 or whatever, however you want to say that. So it's literally been like 8 years since he's seen this team. So I put zero stock into that, obviously. And Quintana coming off a really bad start against the Giants. I don't think he's really that bad. But yeah, it's Mets or pass here. But I honestly, there's just no way I could bet it.
Proppy, we said pass, right?
Yeah, I mean,
it's cool. We can pass.
The first 2 games were where the value was at with the cards.
57%, 34%. So
I missed a bet that one.
Community's definitely on the Cardinals here. Next up, we got Rays at White Sox. Did the Rays
did it again, guys?
The White Sox won 2, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And now it's all the way down to minus 155. The odds makers are like, oh, shit, we can never make the Rays minus 240 favorites again because we got cooked twice in a row.
They're like, oh, this team's bad.
And you know what's crazy? Minus 155, still a little too much.
It's way too much.
This team sucks.
This team sucks. And then before Beaver goes, because I know he has a play, so I'm going to let him talk. The White Sox are kind of quietly starting to heat up the bats a little bit. So just kind of keep your eye on that one.
The White Sox are currently down to plus 114, by the way, on DK.
Oh my God.
I mean, now it's getting to like we can fade the White Sox on a pick 'em. Now it's like
that's what I was gonna say. Is that what's the price that we jump in on the Rays at a short?
If
price?
I can get the Rays at minus 125, I'll bet it.
You can get that, right? I think so.
You can get 135 on DK.
Pretty damn close.
Yeah.
If I can get 135, I might just bet the Rays here. That's the market overreacting. The Rays suck, but it's the White Sox. And
the White Sox don't have anybody in their bullpen.
And
thank you, Beaver.
And if you've been watching the show, we've all had White Sox graphics under our faces the last 2 days. But I think that the market has finally overreacted in a major way, and now I think we play the Rays.
Now, I will say that I don't expect the Rays are terrible. So just with a grain of salt, but Kopech went back-to-back days, so most likely no Kopech for the White Sox.
I'm doing this. Yep.
And then they've seen everybody else in the bullpen the last couple of days. Wilson Brebbia went yesterday. Leisure went the day before. Garcia's went 2 of the last 2 days. Dominic Leone's last 2 of the last 3 days. So yeah, like Beaver said, the White Sox bullpen isn't in the best shape. And then if you flip it over to the Tampa Bay side, it's not nearly as bad. They used a lot of people yesterday, but Garrett Clevenger and Phil Maton went 5 pitches total. Jason Adam, who's their best closer, Team USA guy, only pitched 13, and he didn't go the previous 2 days before that. So the Rays bullpen should be ready to good to go, even though they're shit.
Yeah, I'm betting this, by the way. Add it to the list. I can get up minus 135 on DraftKings. I'm betting the Rays. Prop Beaver?
I'm backing my main man, Fetty, here. I'm backing him 2 ways.
Your main man.
My main man, Fetty. Fetty. I can't walk in. I ain't ready. All right, now let's talk about Mr. Fetty. I really like the improvements I've seen from Fetty thus far since his return from the KBO. When he left for the KBO, this was a man in 2022, 5.81 ERA, 1.63 WHIP. His whiff rate was 18%. His K rate was 16%, 15/10th percentile. He was pissed. But through 5 starts since returning in 2024, after winning the Cy Young over there in the KBO, he's been on a roll. 2.73 ERA. The command's been elite. 19.1 K to BB percentage. 1.14 WHIP. And he has a 27.3 K percentage, 74th percentile. Now, one could point out the level of competition that Fetty's faced thus far. Minnesota, Detroit, KC twice, Cleveland. 2 of those teams are on the bottom 10 of K percentage and WRC+, but 2 of those teams are in the top 10 of WRC+ and K percentage. So he's had well-balanced competition thus far. Now he's facing a Rays offense that against righties through the first 5 sits 26th in WRC+, 30th in ISO, 28th in OBP, 29th in K percentage, and 29th in BP percentage. They are that bad at just about everything. Fetty's only 2 K unders came against KC and Cleveland, who are 2 of the toughest offenses to get Ks against. Meanwhile, he faces the Rays. They've allowed 14 of 18 righties to hit 5+ Ks against them. Even going back to 2022 when his K stuff was weak, he had decent success hitting this number at home, so I feel great about him hitting 5 here. In terms of the earned runs allowed, I think that this is just an insane number, 2.5. What? Because the weather's a little nice today? I mean, the Rays have been held under in 12 of 18 starts thus far. The Rockies have good weather every time they play at home, and they could barely scrap together 3 runs. So, yeah, I'm rolling with Fetty 2 ways here. I really like it. On top of that, another thing that I really like for us, if you're back in Fetty here, the Rays rolled out their lineup, and the back end of that lineup is brutal today. There's no Rortvet. Instead, it's Pinto, who's been awful against righties, very high K percentage. There is no Caballero. It's Mead instead, and he's awful against righties with a high K percentage. On top of that, they have Shenton DHing today. So that is a really poor Rays lineup that they're rolling out there today. I think that... Oh, and Noah Rosarena. Dude, I really like this bet. I really think that the White Sox are going to have a good time here today with Mr. Fetty.
You think they're going to have a good time?
Yeah, I mean, Noah Rosarena.
Oh,
Noah Rosarena, no Caballero, no Rortvet. I mean, we're talking about like 4 starters out for the Rays here.
The community likes the White Sox, 45% to 43%. I'm betting the Rays at that minus 135.
I will say, Randy Arozarena has been dog shit this year. So,
and he also has a high K percentage, so that kind of sucks for me.
He has a 43. He has a 43 OPS plus. So,
but his teammates also suck, and they also have a high K percentage. So I'm fine with it.
We're talking Yanks Brewers in Milwaukee next. Let's see what we got.
My bet is the same thing.
I'm such a dumb twat for not locking in the Yankees first 5 team total over yesterday. Yesterday was a nightmare from hell. Quitting nicotine plus allergy pills plus allergies. I'm like a walking zombie. Yesterday was the worst day ever.
What nicotine do you use?
Zins. They're the best thing ever, but you got to let them go. I need teeth. So have to let them go. Yeah, dude, my gums, I'm getting ripped to shreds. I can't be doing it anymore.
I chewed for so long.
Yeah,
I have beautiful teeth and I chew Nicorette.
So I'm still adjusting to capping without it because it's a capping staple in my eyes. It's a capping staple. It's a capping staple.
I couldn't cap a slate without a pack of cigarettes.
Watch your mouth. I agree with Toast. Yankees team total over 4.5. Yankees first 5 team total over 2.5. I'm pretty high on Toby Myers. I think he's gonna be pretty good, but if the Yankees are cooking right now, they're cooking. No reason to hop off the train, you know.
So yeah, just Yankees. The same bet you guys have been. You guys have been doing this for days now. The Yankees team total.
Well, only 2 days.
This will be your third.
Yeah, this will be a third day in a row. A little streaky.
That's days. That's more than days. So everyone likes the Yankees. Stroman on the road. I don't know. If these guys like the Yankees team total, sounds good to me. I got nothing. Whoa! Why did I just show up on the screen?
Oh,
there we go.
Oh, guy.
All right. Let's move on to the next one. Reds Rangers, and I like dude. There was a couple leans that I had on the show yesterday that hit plus money leans that I didn't bet. I like the Reds yesterday.
This is the game I wanted to bet the over in this game, and it fucking soared over, and I didn't bet it because it went from 9 to 8.5 to 8, and I was like, maybe I'm missing something here. I wasn't. So mad.
Now yesterday I liked the Reds, didn't bet it. They obviously won. Now the Reds are putting a lefty on the mound, and a lefty on the road in Arlington is not really something you want to make a habit of backing. So I'm pissed I didn't bet the Reds yesterday, even though I liked them. I would lean Rangers today against Abbott, the lefty. Dane's stunning.
Can I tell you that the Rangers have been kind of dog piss against lefties this year? Matter of fact, It's their worst split.
Yeah, actually, I remember we talked about that in the video. So you like the Reds again?
Especially against left-handed starters, only hitting 190 against lefty starters, 586 OPS.
So you like the Reds?
Rangers. Yeah, I do. I like the Reds. So for me, I just think that we have an advantage all over the board here. I think that we have an advantage starting pitching. Obviously, like I just said, I don't really trust this Rangers team versus left-handed pitching. I don't really trust this Rangers offense at all right now. I said it going into the Atlanta series that this team isn't scoring a lot of runs. They didn't do anything until Sunday on Sunday against the Braves, and they scored 6 runs, and then they haven't done that since then. They've scored 5 runs against Seattle, and it's a lot of 2s and 3s out there. I'm not a huge Andrew Abbott guy, but he's been really solid so far to start the year, and starts against the Mets, White Sox, Mariners, Phillies. So he's not going to go super deep into the games. I mean, I think he's going to go 5-6 innings here, and then we have essentially a full rested Reds bullpen behind him. Diaz and Sutter went back-to-back yesterday. I wish Sutter was available because he's like one of their better arms as a middle relief guy because he went 38 pitches yesterday. But either way, everybody else is going to be good and ready to go. So if you're going to give me plus money with the Reds, I'm going to take it. So yeah, I'll be on the Reds today.
Prop Beaver, do you agree with that?
Yeah, I think I would have to agree with that sentiment, and that says a lot because I hate Andrew Abbott. I know he's not good. I know he's going to get cranked eventually, but for right now, sometimes you just got to respect when a guy's Babbitt luck is good, and the guy's got some great luck right now. He's rolling. So, as Tosh was saying, this Texas team is just like they have fallen off of a cliff in comparison to where they were against lefties last season. The fall-off's absolutely insane. Where's the numbers I'm looking for right now? 24th in WRC+, 25th in ISO, 25th in OBP. I mean, the last 6 lefties to face the Rangers have combined for a 2.78 ERA. They're allowing less than 0.6 home runs per 9 and a 1.11 whip. I mean, as much as I hate Mr. Wabbit, I think he can have a pretty good start here. So, yeah, on that side, I like it. And then Dane Dunning, this hurts me. Dane, you were my boy because you were undervalued, but now I think you're overvalued.
Stop. Don't do that to
now. He is. He's a little overvalued.
Right now, your numbers suck, my brother. The 4.61 ERA is a blessing because he's allowing 2-3 home runs per 9, a 14% walk rate, a 16% barrel rate, my lordy, and a 53% hard hit rate. I mean, that's really bad. On top of that, what is he specifically struggling against? Lefties. 424 WOBA, 562 xFIP. The Reds' two top bats, De La Cruz and Fraley, they're lefties. On top of that, they start three other lefties, including Candelario, who has excellent history against Dunning. So, yeah, I think the Reds are the move here, which is sickening to say because I hate the Reds against righties, but I think this is a shot you got to take.
I was just about to say, if I'm getting Beaver's approval on a Andrew Abbott over Dane Dunning start, I'm running to the window.
I think I have to bet
to the window.
Yeah.
So you guys both like the. I'm not going to tell you on that, but now that Toast hammered home that the Rangers have sucked against lefties this year, and that profitable strategy of fade every lefty that goes into Arlington that we were making money on last year is probably no longer a thing. This will be a pass for me. Next up, Pirates at Giants. This one's pretty much at a pick 'em. Prop Beaver, your guys on the mound.
Honestly, both my guys are on the mound. I like Keaton Wynn too. Yeah, I like both of these guys.
Oh,
yeah,
or Jones too. Yeah.
So I hit square as shit. I went the first 5 under 4 minus 120. I didn't know what else to give out for this game. I mean, that's really that's the only thing I would like for this game. Yeah.
Two shitty lineups against two good pitchers.
That's pretty much how I'm looking at it. I mean, this kid, Jared Jones, is an absolute stud. We've now seen the last 15 righties to face him, combined for a sub-2.5 ERA. On top of that, just got shut out at home by Quinn Priester. I mean, Jesus. I think that Jared Jones can hold them to 1 or less here. On the other side, we got Keaton Wynn, and I'm a Keaton Wynn guy. The numbers have been pretty good thus far. The peripherals support that. He had a bit of a rocky start against the Padres and the Dodgers, but the last 3 starts, 2.12 ERA, 106 whip, 2.99 xFIP, and the Pirates offense against, that was a weird pronunciation, the Pirates offense against righties right now looks dreadful. The last 7 of 9 righties that face the Pirates have held them to 1 or less runs, while the last 8 of 9 have held them to 2 or less runs. Low numbers are low for a reason. I think both these guys are stud. I think both these offenses are trash. That would be my lean here. But it's a Sunday. It's a low number. So don't know if I get to the window. That's what I would give out, though.
Yeah, I mean, how could you really argue against that, Toast? Two pitchers that look. You like first 5 over, or you just don't?
I don't like the first 5. I like the over in the game at 7.5 at plus money is what I like. Or did I get?
So
basically,
you're saying
I did. Over 7.5 at plus 100. Yeah.
So basically, you're saying Prop Beaver,
and I bet that.
No, but I like his state of thinking because I kind of like series where when the first 2 games are low scoring and shitty, the third game you see like an explosion. I can see that. That's the reason why I'm not betting this. It's a Sunday. It's crazy. But if you wanted a recommendation, that's my recommendation.
The day of the Sabbath.
Yeah, I mean, every time that these guys play the third game of the series, 14-4 in 2023. 6-4. 10 or 8-1, that doesn't really matter. My point being is that these bullpens are absolutely taxed, and this number is at 7.5. It only takes one of these teams to have a decent day on one of these bullpens. It's going to go over. We'll just go San Francisco first because I have them up. Duvall, Rogers, and Rogers. The Taylor Rogers blew a save yesterday, or he got lit up. So it doesn't matter if he pitches or not, but the other 2, Duvall and Rogers, on back-to-back days. Luke Jackson went 24 pitches yesterday. So I don't know if he's going to be available. And then you flip it over to the Pirates bullpen, who's been fucking terrible. David Bender tried to blow another save yesterday. He's went back-to-back days. Aroldis Chapman 2 of the last 3 days. Hunter Stratton 2 of the last 3 days. The Giants saw Holderman and Fleming yesterday. Oh, by the way, Holderman's went 2 of the last 3 days as well. So if you're going to give me a low total on a Sunday at plus 100, I'm going to take it. So I played over 7.5 at plus 100.
This is what I want to do, but I'm not going to. I want to take the Pirates money line. I love fading the Giants with a right-handed starter on the mound, but the Pirates bats are just. Ugh.
It's the bullpen that you have to worry about.
Well, it's both their bullpens are fucked though. So.
I know, but the Pirates gives up games.
Yeah, I'm not betting this. I'm just putting it up for the show. That would be if I was forced to bet this game, I would be betting the Pirates money line. Next up, let's move on to Houston, Colorado in the I don't want to talk about this shit series. This is being played on the planet Zordon.
The third son of Saturn will be shining.
I have no interest in betting or talking about this. If you guys have
I'll just say really quickly, I bet the over at 16.5 at plus 100. I know that the Rockies scored 2 runs yesterday. But as long as the Astros put up some runs like they should, lefty, Gomber, balls flying, that should be there. And then Framber Valdez, love him. He's one of my favorite pitchers in this league, but he really needs that ball to move. I don't know if that's going to happen in Studio Azteca or whatever the hell it's called. So I really think, not to mention Rockies versus lefties is a spot that we like. I understand they're absolutely terrible.
So
but
what do you want? What do you like?
Over 16.5 plus 100.
Yeah, and a lot of people are in the comments are saying the same thing, and I can't say I disagree with that. I will say
I didn't play it yesterday because I didn't love it. Today I will play it because I feel like the Rockies now being there, I don't think they're going to put up 2 runs again. So if the Astros can just give me 7 or 8, I think are like another 10 spot again. I know that's crazy, but this is what that stadium is. So I played it for a half a unit.
Yeah, everyone's saying just bet over. Yesterday you had who was on the mound and it didn't go over. You had
Cal Quantrill.
Cal Quantrill starting and it didn't go over. So
Cal Quantrill's been dealing.
Oh my God, stop it.
Has he not?
He's been better. To say
Thank
dealing and Cal Quantrill in the same sentence.
Well, for Cal Quantrill, that would be dealing.
Yes, you're right. For his standards, Cy Young effort.
Let's get off this stupid game, bro.
Agreed.
Next up, we got 1, 2, 3 games left. Twins, Angels.
How about the padlock last night, huh?
I mean, he did allow 8 hits and 4 runs.
Yeah, he wasn't good.
It was so bad.
I mean, the bet won, but like padlock sucks.
That's
the shittiest lock I've ever seen.
Great. Now I'm just gonna be like, well, they show up for the padlock.
Padlock couldn't keep a kid's
show up.
Padlock couldn't keep a kid's toy chest shut. Padlock sucks. So we got Pablo Lopez.
Oh God, this fucking scrub. It's Pablo Day. No, it's Fade Pablo Day. That's what it is. It's Fade Pablo.
Dude, I mean, you got Detmers at home against Pablo Lopez. Angels, right?
It's a bit scary because the Twins are rolling right now. I don't know how many. Do you know how many they've won straight toasts? Is like 7 or 6 or something like that?
7. They're 8-2 their last 10. I know that. So
yeah, the Angels are like what 2-8 their last 10 or something
correct.
around that.
Sorry.
So
Minnesota 7-3 their last 10. They've won 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 games in a row, and they've scored 6 runs or more in all of them.
Yeah, so they're rolling right now. On top of that, the last 3 lefties they've cranked them.
What's their record in Detmer starts, though? Because I think the Angels' starting rotation sucks, in exception of
Angels are 4-1 in games Detmer starts.
Right, that's what I'm saying.
He's the GOAT. That exactly. So that's what I'm gonna get to. So even though the fact that the Twins are hitting lefties right now, they face Sandoval, Crochet, and Irvin. Crochet, flash of the pan the first 2 games. The dude stinks. I mean, he's been awful lately. Cole Irvin's horrendous, and then Patrick Sandoval. I don't know if I could keep defending you, dude. You're not very good. So Reed Detmers is miles above all these dudes. I think that he could deal here through 5 starts, 2.12 ERA, 7.1 barrel percentage, 20.9 K to BB percentage. The only bad start came last time out against Baltimore. And what Baltimore's doing against lefties right now should be illegal. That was the second time they've also seen him in a month. So I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt here. I'm not a guy who backs pitchers blindly, but Detmers has always treated me well throughout his career. I trust him to show up in a day spot. So yeah. On the other side, I actually did want to back Pablo here. About 2 hours ago, I was on the opposite side. I wanted to back Pablo through the first 5. But then when I looked at the numbers, he always was a guy who struggled a bit more against lefties, but dominated against righties. But it's the complete opposite this year. Against righties, he's got a 338 WOBA compared to a 255 against lefties, a 5.5 FIP against righties compared to a 235 against lefties. And the first 7 batters in the Angels lineup are all righties. Do I love the Angels lineup against righties? Absolutely not. But they've at least been passable the last 2 weeks. 13th WRC plus, 10th in ISO. On top of that, they've been much better at home against righties this year. And Pablo Lopez, I mean, we've seen Pablo Lopez make some pretty shitty lineups look pretty damn good thus far. So, yeah, that would be the only way I go here. I would isolate it to the first 5, though, because the bullpen advantage could not be more massive in the Twins' favor. I know both sides are rested, but that Angels pen is stinky poo-poo.
Yeah, Angel Hernandez in the comments just asked about the Angels bullpen. And
fresh and ready to go.
Yeah, it's ready. It's not a good bullpen, but they are rested.
No. And I could get plus 100 through the first 5 for Detmers. So I forget which book I had it at. So I'd prefer the first 5.
Angels with us, Toast?
Yeah, 100%. And just to add to the splits thing with Beaver, those righties in the lineup, Angels got Brandon Drury back yesterday too. That's just another solid right-handed bat. I understand that he hasn't played in a while, but all those major guys in the Angels lineup are righties. Trout, Ward, Ohapi, Drury, Adele, who hit a home run last night. So yeah, it's Angels for me as well.
Cool. Let's do it. I'm on the Angels too. Next up.
Not to mention it's the Twins during the day.
The Twins during the day. Speaking of daytime games, by the way, Poll likes the Angels there, 52%, 38%. Prop Beaver, the Vampires are playing a day game. Blind Snakes. You're muted.
Put the fangs away. Get the garlic out. The vampires are dead, people. It's daytime. They're scared of the sun. It's a terrifying time for them right now. I feel bad for them. I'm just doing some line reading here. I think you have to bet the D-backs.
Snakes.
I think it's pretty hard to bet. I wanted to go with an under of some sorts with Fott. Pretty hard to do that when the game total 6.5. The line,
ridiculous.
Yeah, the line just seems very inviting for Mariners bettors with how Gilbert has looked. He, despite looking phenomenal thus far, and Fott really just kind of looking okay. Gilbert has worse odds to allow under 2.5 earned runs than Mr. Fott does. So they're saying actually that Fott will have the better start here in terms of runs allowed, at least what the odds would be indicating. That's pretty interesting because the Mariners bats are firing right now and the D-backs bats are struggling. But what do I always say? The Mariners during the day, these guys cannot hit. I mean, they go from a top 10 lineup against righties at night to bottom 3 during the day. They just, for some reason, I don't know what it is. They don't get the crust out of their eyes. They cannot hit during the day. So I think that Brandon Fott is really good. I'm looking to back him here. I don't know whether I'm going to do the D-backs money line or if I'm going to do Fott to record 7+ Ks at like plus 130. But definitely looking to back Fott in this spot, especially with how they're pricing this game. At the very least, they're telling me that this is a competitive one, that the D-backs have a real shot here.
Toast Snakes.
2 plays, Snakes and first 5 over 3.5. Going to continue to pound those 3.5s in the first 5 when they give them to me this early in the year. And it's at plus money. That plus money does not scare me in any way, shape, or form. Tally that up. But yeah, I love the Snakes here. And I love the over first 5 over 3.5. So
Snakes and first 5 over 3.5. Someone asked, is Toast a Mariners fan because he's also a Gonzaga fan? Yes, he is.
No, I'm not.
He claims that he's not, but he is.
You had a soft spot for them at one point. I don't know. At one point, no,
he's obsessed with
the playoffs and like
I'm not
it was
upset.
cool
They're
with the history.
When he talks about Cal Raleigh, he's practically erect on camera.
Okay, well, Cal, that's fair. I get erect too when I talk about Cal.
Who wouldn't be? Big dumper. Come on.
Yeah.
Big dumper. All right. Final.
You're telling me you didn't get a little going down there when he hit that 2-run shot in the first inning the other day? I know I did.
Try and tell him.
I mean, I can
My
say
wife
I
was
did.
like, "What's going on? Who are you talking to?" I said, "It's okay. It's just Big Dumper."
It's just Big Dumper. All right. Phillies, Padres.
This line is ridiculous. Take the fucking Phillies. I'm just gonna say that right now.
What is going on? Right?
Absolutely
Toast?
ridiculous. I tried to look. I've been on the Phillies both nights, and I should have bet the Phillies yesterday. I ended up going with the over because I thought I think it was my fanhood that got in the way, thinking that the Padres could score some runs. They stink. They are 3-7 their last 10. They should not be minus 150 favorites. I understand that Taijuan Walker is making his first start, and I also understand that Taijuan Walker isn't good. But what's the one thing that we know about Taijuan Walker? We can trust him before the All-Star break. We cannot trust him after the All-Star break. So if you're going to give me Taijuan Walker and you're going to give me a few innings against this team, and then I understand that the Phillies bullpen is absolutely garbage, but they haven't worked in 2 days. They're going to be ready to go. The Padres stink, guys. The Padres stink.
I mean, I'm not taking the Phillies, but I will not be fading you. So I'm not going to take Taijuan Walker. Also, Taijuan Walker might have been 2 years ago or last year had pretty significant home away splits. So I like Taijuan Walker at home a little bit more.
Yeah, he's been absolutely. I was there at his last start against
on the road. No, I won't be trusting him. But I also am not trusting the Padres bats either. I took a shot with the Padres yesterday.
Padres have lit him up the last 2 times he's came to San Diego, and I was there last year. But I'm just saying this team is terrible.
Yeah, this is a pass for me. Prop Beaver?
I don't get what the books are doing here with this line. Even in terms of the team total, why on earth is the Phillies team total at 3.5 minus 115?
They like King, maybe.
The team scored like 7 runs in like 8 straight games. What are we even talking about? The first 5 run lines at like -1. No. The first 5 team total over 1.5 is at -135. They've no joke annihilated the righties that they've seen lately. One second, let me pull it up. If you look at the righties they've seen lately, 5 runs, 7 runs, 5 runs, 4 runs, 5 runs, 5 runs, 6 runs. That is the last 8 righties to face the Phillies. Those are the runs they've given up. Who is
can I add one other thing?
Priced like this? Who the hell does he think he is?
Can I add one other thing to those righties that he's faced?
Yeah.
Dylan Cease, Joe Musgrove, Nick Martinez, Hunter Green. I mean, it's not like they're bad guys either. So
I'm not even a Michael King guy either. They're
Me
pricing
neither.
Michael King. I feel like they're pricing Michael King in like the same line where they were doing with Puck, where they're pricing these guys like they're still that elite reliever where they're posting those numbers. Like, no, when you become a starter, the numbers change. And like Michael King, he's good. He has potential to be a fantastic starter. But right now, he's just kind of a mediocre starter. And he's really struggling against lefties. And Bryce Harper's a lefty. Schwarber's a lefty. Marsh is a lefty. He's been awesome thus far. Like, I don't know. I
mean, honestly, King's had 2 good starts on the road at San Francisco. He looked fantastic. A lot of people can do that. And then on the road, somehow in Milwaukee, he went 7 2/3, didn't give up a hit until the whatever inning, and they still lost that game. So,
All right, let's.
I'd be backing the Phillies offense in the first 5 here. If it's a trap, so be it. But I think the lines are ridiculous. I think that's beyond disrespectful.
Yeah, I'm probably playing the Phillies team total too. That's ridiculous.
So you'll be on Phillies team total first, right here, this graphic here, Prop Beaver?
Yeah, what the fuck is that? Plus 160?
I'm not betting it.
What?
Next up, Sunday Night Baseball, last game of the day.
That's what susses me out, Toast. Like, what is that line, dude?
Guys,
Weird.
I tried to tell you, Toast. Tried to tell you it was a Bo Sox spot. You didn't want to listen to me.
Oh yeah, I didn't bet the game, so yeah.
That
Enjoy
being
your
said,
flowers.
this is a Cubby spot. Tanner Houck at Fadem and Fenway. You got a Red Sox offense that hasn't been very reliable this year, coming off a 17-run game. I'm not the biggest Wesneski guy, but I think you like Wesneski, don't you, Toast?
I do. Yeah.
So let's bet the
I'm
Cubs here. Sunday Night
I'm
Baseball.
a
Let's take
Wesneski kind of guy. I think that I do like his talent a lot. So
let's take the Cubs.
Yeah, it'd be Cubs or pass for me. I haven't looked into this a ton because I knew I was going to be doing some props and stuff like that. But I think that we're getting a pretty nice price with Tanner Houck. That keep in mind, he's coming off that 9-inning gem at home against Cleveland, where he went 9 innings, gave up 3 hits. But keep in mind, his start at home prior to that against the Angels, he went 5 2/3, gave up 12 hits and 7 runs. So there's Tanner Houck at home really isn't probably that guy that we saw against Cleveland. That's all I'm trying to say. So Wesneski, I think has he made a start this year? I don't think so, right?
No, not yet.
Yeah, I was going to say, I don't think he's made a start this year, but last year, not the best, 3-5 with the 4.63 ERA. But again, I just don't trust this Boston team in any way, shape, or form. So if they scored 17 runs yesterday, they're probably not going to score very many today. It's just not a team I'm trying to back here right now.
Prop Beaver, you with us, Cubbies?
Nah, I think I'd have to lean Boston here. I feel like when Boston gets hot offensively,
It's been one game. They're hot offensively now.
Actually, it's been 3 of their last 4.
They scored 1 run.
17.
Yeah,
2 days
no,
ago.
dude, but they've been hitting righty
Hold on.
starters lately. And
Everyone needs their
Wesneski,
last 10 games.
Everyone needs to stop
Yeah.
for a second. Yesterday,
What?
when I
Watch
liked
them out.
Boston, you guys were like, how do you trust that lineup? Now all of a sudden they're hot bats?
yep, they're hot. Listen,
guys are
I make the
fucking
rules, not
crazy.
you. Watch your
didn't
mouth. No, but they did. They
Can't
hit
trust
up
that lineup. Now they're
you
red hot.
needed to. Because once the pattern forms, it's clearer. We
one
had
game.
a missing link to the pattern. Yeah, but now they hit up Ben Brown. They got 8 base runners off of McKenzie. Sure, they only got 2 runs, but they got 8 base runners off of him in 4 innings. They had 10 base runners and 5 runs off of Carrasco. So it's 3 starts in a row now where they've absolutely railed starting right-handed pitching. I was a Hayden Wesneski guy. I think we've seen it at this point. I'm past the Hayden Wesneski hype. He's okay starting right-handed pitcher. He has massive blow-up potential. He'd get absolutely throttled at any moment. Tanner Houck was much worse on the road in his past. He did get killed by the Angels at home this year, but he also faced them for the 2nd consecutive time in that spot. So I don't know if I could really fault him. And then let's not forget that he completely shut down the Guardians at home this year. 9-inning complete game shutout. So I think the value here is on the Red Sox. Sorry.
Wrong.
Eat
You
a
don't have
bag.
to be sorry. I haven't bet it yet. I haven't really looked at it. But.
Eat a bag of shit.
All right, Prop Beaver, let's do it's 1 o'clock and the NBA game's tipping off in 10 minutes. So let's do a quick community parlay so everyone can go enjoy their Sunday. You want to cook up you want to hop in the kitchen real quick?
Yeah, let me put my apron on.
All right, Braves. Braves money line. Oakland, Orioles money line. Who did they like in they definitely like the Dodgers. That's one of the more public plays on the board. Royals, Tigers. Did they like your guys' Royals? I think they like the Tigers with me. With Scooble on the mound, they definitely like the Tigers.
Yeah.
All right, first leg of the community parlay. Cast your votes. Cast your votes. Yeah, Suns are favored now for those who didn't see it. I got a +2 and a money line bet. I'm at a plus money. CLV, baby. Does that mean I'm going to win the bet? No. In fact, sometimes that means I'll probably lose the bet. No, I do like the Suns tonight a lot. They're actually my favorite bet of all the NBA games. I really talked myself onto that Bucks-Pacers under, though. I think that's the right play. Take the under in the Bucks-Pacers. That wasn't on my original list, but when me and Chris were talking about it, I like talked myself into it, and I added it to my ticket, which is posted on the website, by the way. I posted my 4 NBA bets on KyleKirms.com if you want. All right, Dodgers money line is the first leg.
I hate that I'm betting the Rays. God damn it.
It's a great bet. Everyone's on the White Sox. Literally every single person in the comments is like, White Sox, Rays suck. It's like, have you guys forgotten? And like, I'm not somebody that's been fading the White Sox. I put White Sox up as my pick for 2 days in a row. All right, what's the second leg of the community parlay? Cast your vote. White Sox on a heater, someone said. White Sox on a heater.
They are.
They won 2 games. Let's relax. Still the worst team in baseball.
No, they're still the worst team in the baseball, but they're starting to score some runs.
Yeah, but I'm fading the worst team in baseball at close to a pick 'em. -130, -130.
Oh, he's talking in regardless to that. Okay, got you.
I think he was being sarcastic. John Bender, who said that. Pretty sure he was joking. All right, Dodgers money line, Yankees money line, 2 frequent flyers on the community parlay. It's usually Dodgers, Yankees, Orioles. Like it's the same. Pirates, Giants. They like the Giants there, definitely. Astros, Rockies. They like the Astros. Twins, Angels. They like the Angels with us. All right, cast your votes. What's the third leg of the community parlay? Apparently, Man City just scored a goal for those of you betting the Premiership or Champions League or whatever the shit that is.
Yeah. That's how I feel about that.
That's what I don't like about the European soccer is you should be able to tell what league it is. Like they just said Man City scored. That doesn't even let me know what, like it could be Champions League or the Premiership. Don't even know because they play in 2 different leagues if they make it.
It could be a friendly as well.
Could also be a friendly.
Could even be a friendly.
To which I ask, what's the point of a friendly?
Exactly, 100%.
A friendly European soccer game is the same as like a Jake Paul boxing match. It's like, why are we doing this? Why do you guys want to watch? Five, 4, 3. You guys really like the Reds like that, huh? Cincinnati Reds.
Fancy, huh?
Cincinnati Reds at plus money makes the community parlay.
Aren't they on your watch list?
No, I don't think so. I like the Reds. No, I didn't have them on the list. I put the Reds up as my pick, but I if they lost last night, maybe I put the Rangers up as my pick, Toast.
Oh, okay.
But I remember you because of the Rangers against lefties, I was like, nah, this is a pass.
Yeah.
All right, and let's see. What is the final leg of the community parlay? Cast your votes. Looks like it might be the Astros in the Saturn game. Oh, never mind. Phillies take the lead. Five.
Yeah, the Angels,
four.
Angels are minus 115 in the first 5 now.
Yeah.
Line movers,
We're just
influencers.
We're just a bunch of sharps on here moving lines.
They call me fucking Stanley Steamer, the way I be moving them shits.
Do we have odds on this?
No.
The comments will shout them out. Comments, odds, please.
I was too busy being a genius with my jokes.
Oh, is that what you're doing?
Mm-hmm. It's tough multitasking. Reds.
Wow, nobody's got the odds today.
Wow.
I'm doing it now.
They're all my odds.
Plus 613.
1585.
Plus 1541, thanks to Jess. Plus 1585. Community, what has gotten into you? All right.
Some crazy.
Dodgers money line, Yankees money line, Reds money line, Phillies money line at plus 1585. Good Lord. Community swinging for the fences today. Let's bring up, did you email me your work?
Yes, sir.
Did you play Angels first 5, Beaver?
No, I don't know if I could fade the Twins against the lefty with how they've cranked them the last 3 games. But
I know. I think I'm just going to pass after that price. I wanted plus money. I'm not going to chase it.
You have the floor.
Yeah, so with this one, we got 3 picks here. I went with higher on Fetty strikeouts, especially with that lineup that just rolled out. That some serious value on that one. Michael King higher than 2.5 earned runs allowed. I don't get that line. If we get fooled here, we get fooled. And then Brandon Pfaadt over 6 strikeouts. Mariners continue to have 0 plate discipline, despite the fact that they're doing better at the plate. This could be a spot where we see them slow down. It's the day. They're afraid of the sun. No sunscreen in Seattle this time of year, so I'm going with the higher there for 5Ks.
All right. Let me get rid of this. If you don't have an Underdog Fantasy account, it's available in any state highlighted on this map here. So if you're in one of these states highlighted in yellow, head over to the website or download the app Underdog Fantasy. When you make your account, make sure you use the promo code BET, B-E-T. That'll get you a $100 deposit bonus match. So if you deposit $100, they will give you a free $100 to play with if you use the promo code BET. Everyone enjoy your Sunday. Thanks for watching. I'll be in the Discord today because I'm working. I'm doing spreadsheets all day. So I'll have the Discord open on my computer. If you need me, we'll be in there watching sports, chatting. If you want any of our stuff, all of our top bets for the day, they're posted on KyleKirms.com. Have a good one. Thanks for watching. Talk to you guys later. Bet responsibly.
Have a good day, guys.